Well, howdy doody, you beautiful people. Welcome to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys, continuing the playoff assault on the LPL, the LCK. I mean, it's going all over. If the playoffs are here, it's the best time of the year, even though it's spring, not summer.
Hey, the temperature is starting to get there finally, making things nice outside, nice enough that you can just stay inside and keep playing League of Legends, keep watching.
So bad.
Yeah.
Well, it was bad then.
Good enough for me. Any excuse to keep watching and playing League of Legends, thumbs up.
We got to start with LCK matchups. You had Damwon after they took down Sandbox, matching up against Kingzone, who were the hottest team in the second round robin of all the LCK. So technically they call this, I mean, the wild card round was that first one, so we're heading in to the first best of 5 series with Damwon and Kingzone, and the same squad that took down Sandbox. You got Nuggery, Canyon, and Barrel all starting against, I mean, the main 5 who have been there the majority of the time for Kingzone. And the bot lane preview was the big one coming into this match, and early on, it was Deft and Tucson who were clearly the aggressors. Damwon, they're just running, Mark.
Yeah, this one right away, when you looked at this series right out of the gates, was all gonna be about how is Deft going to do here against Nuclear? How badly is he going to punish this bottom lane here? And right now, game 1 right away, looking good for Kingzone.
Yeah, the fadeaway lantern volley to grab first blood, and there was more action in the bottom lane, even though Deft isn't there to start it. He does land the nice arrow on Canyon, and that is 2 more kills the way of Kingzone to get this early game rolling. And look at this, we're right back in the bottom lane. All the action early on down here.
Yeah, I'd say Damwon did their homework at least here and banned out the Rek'Sai against Cuz that he's undefeated on, but he says, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna play the Nocturne, and I'm not Vedius. I'm not playing it mid. I'm gonna shut you.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God for sure, because it shuts them down here, and even in these prolonged team fights, where it looks like Damwon's gonna catch Kingzone on the end at the flank here. Ooh, that damage is popping off here, and Deft is off to the races, as we've been saying here with that damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of kills for Kingzone. Now 8-1 to really start things snowballing. The nice lantern there to save Deft and a completely reposition, and then it's Rascal picking up a kill, or excuse me, Pawn picking up a kill on that Silas. And again, it's just chasing down more and more kills. 2-1 now for Kingzone. Now 14-1, but Damwon has an Infernal.
Nagari, that was hey, you had to try something. Sure, you got to try something. I'll give you credit on that.
When you're down 14-1, you try out everything.
Hey,
but oh my God, Deft.
That is a lot of damage coming through there. Almost gets the quadra kill, but it doesn't matter. Kingzone clean it up, and they're going to clean up this game for the game 1 victory. Quick shout out here to Rascal in the top side, playing the Ornn into the Jace matchup. You would think the Jace should be able to get enough advantages up there, but no, didn't happen. Held his own, and it's Kingzone with that 1-0 advantage into game 2.
Yeah, I mean, he had a sizable CS lead, but that was about it. Couldn't snowball more than that. And then we got a Pyke Morgana bottom lane for Kingzone heading into game 2, and Deft obviously has played Morgana a bit. That clean flash over with the ulti to clean up a kill, and then we're scrapping around the Rift Herald. No subs in this, by the way, for Damwon. They run it back the exact same roster, and the TPs are coming in aplenty in this fight, and this one was actually more back and forth, but again, we're getting trapped in the Rift Herald, and that's a whiff on the Pyke ulti.
Yeah, not the best from Tucson here. This one was an interesting game because, hey, you're going to see Tucson not at his best, but hey, get ready to watch Tucson at his best right there. Gets the execute, gets the dragon. There's the bit of the redemption there for the missed ult before. This one working out well here for Kingzone once again, picking up the kills and cleaning the board here with Damwon.
Yeah, double kill and the dragon with the steal on that Pyke ulti, and he was thirsty for blood later on. Here's Rascal going in deep to clean one up, but it's going to be Tucson who grabs it. 1-2, more kills for the support. I love seeing Pyke. I want to see more Pyke.
Hey, we got to give some props there to Def for doing his job, but you got to say, he missed one. He only hit 1 out of the 3 bindings there. The one that he hits, go back and watch it, locks Naguri in there forever, and he just gets killed by the team after they've taken him down. And this is, again, one type of dominance here from Kingzone, just rolling on through and execute after execute.
Yeah, Tucson is going deep. He wants more, and Pawn says, don't worry, my man. I got it. That's a low health Showmaker. Dive in the Nexus Fountain, or Nexus inhib turret to clean that one up, and then it's Kingzone running on to the Nexus. The Pike Morgana lane. Tucson had 8 kills and the highest kill bounty on his entire team.
Ooh, not only was Tucson popping off in this one, you gotta keep the tracker here on Pawn now, because that's 2 games, no deaths from the man in the mid lane. Let's see if we can get a perfect series and a perfect game once again here from Pawn.
Game 3, Damwon finally makes a sub, but it's only Hoyt in the bottom lane. No Flame and no Punch coming in. And we've got the Zillion Kindred lineup, the Cloud9 special for Damwon. Deft is on the Lucian here, and that is a failed dive from Kingzone. Getting a little too hypey in this 3rd game. A match point for them. And then more scraps around the Rift Herald. Both teams really covered this thing.
Oh yeah, the teams wanted it, but hey, there's the punish coming through from Kingzone, gets the great Galio flank into there, and hey, look at this deletion of the rest of the members of Damwon.
And it really just felt like a lot of times in this game, the Zillion Kindred ulti were just used purely defensively to try and survive as long as they could. I never really got the feeling that they were using it aggressively to kind of steamroll over a team fight, as you see Rascal doing just that, steamrolling on the cannon.
Yeah, there was absolutely no way that this Kindred ultimate and the Zillion in the mid lane were working in any type of conjunction together. You were not having it used well in any of these situations. It was, as you're right, mainly from survival from this point of view. Which, hey, if that's what you're using this duo for here, you're doing it wrong, because you need to be able to find more advantages from it.
And you talked about the undefeated Rek'Sai. Well, Game 3, it gets unleashed. They forget to block that one on the bans. Cuz does get it. Deft is cleaning up on the Lucian, and Rascal had some absolutely disgusting Kennen ults in this game. But this fight actually wasn't horrible for Damwon. They did get some kills, but everyone is so low. They were so close to cleaning up 3 or 4 kills, but they only end up getting 1.
And really the thing that hurts there is if you go back and you watch that fight, I think a lot of people are being a little bit too harsh on Nuclear's performance in this series, but you go back and you watch that fight, and man, he's spending a lot of time just dealing with the Galio in his face, not getting any damage out in that fight. And as you mentioned, low health bars there, could have swung it around.
1 volley.
Didn't matter though, because it's the perfect game from Pawn. It's the perfect series from Kingzone, taking it down. They say, hey, it might be best of 5s now, but we still only need these 3 games tonight to end the series.
14, 0, and 26 for Pawn in those 3 games. That is some Samsung White level stuff right there.
Oh yeah, that is Samsung White. Pawn has entered the lobby and he's feeling good, making these plays. This is exactly why someone like Def said, hey, not only am I going to take this big Kingzone money, I want to be playing with my boy Pawn. I want to be staying with him.
They can't be separated.
The faith has been redeemed here, and Pawn is really popping off in these playoffs so far.
There's some sort of superpower when Pawn and Def together, and they will not ever be separated again. So Kingzone clean 3-0, 15-1 now since SKT took them down in the middle of the regular season. And well, that's who they're playing next in the next round of playoffs. That is sure to be an insane best of 5.
Yeah, I think there's certainly a lot of positives still to take away from here, even if this is the continuation of the dominance over Damwon. This 0-7 record now that they have against Kingzone. This is complete wiping the board here with Damwon saying, you're not good enough to be playing up against us here. This is the big boy time in the LCK Gauntlet playoffs here, and now we're getting the matchup against SKT. As we said before, you had that matchup where SKT took advantage of them. Different story now. This Kingzone team is really on a roll.
And for Damwon, it's the end of your spring season, but still a fantastic debut split for them to win a round of playoff action. And I mean, they were just outclassed in every way in this Kingzone matchup. Kingzone looks great, and I think SKT, after seeing this series, should be a little bit more concerned maybe than they were coming into it.
Yeah, just a little bit, I think, is the right call there. But when you're looking at Damwon, I think the real issue is, again, not making these substitutions. I understand having the full faith in the talent of your roster here, but this was a situation where you got to try something different here, and getting into Game 3 and switching up your support, that's not enough.
Yeah, I would have thought for sure. Game 1, fine, leave them in. But after the Game 2 loss, I thought for sure reinforcements were coming, Flame, Punch, and Hoyt, but they only subbed the support. No Flame was definitely a surprise. Coming up after the break, the LPL playoffs roll on in round 1, and EDG, is it World Championship level LPL champs or regular season EDG? Hello, all you friendly faces. Welcome back. League Unlock, Eric and Mark with you guys. Little LPL playoff actione. We already had JD taking down World Elite as a pretty big upset because WE was coming in very hot. EDG and SinoDragon both were somewhat hot coming in. I mean, EDG was oh so close to taking down IG, and for these bunch of rookies to even qualify for the playoffs in their debut split in the LPL, I think that's already a pretty big accomplishment.
That's pretty amazing here, moving on from the LDL to the LPL and not missing a beat, being one of these competitive teams, showing some fancy footwork every week in and out. This is a team that you do want to be watching here and definitely deserves their respect. But hey, on the other side, it is EDG, one of the best teams ever in history in China here. And this is a squad that I think has not finished worse than 5th in the LPL ever. So this is a chance here. If Sino beats them, hey man, this is the worst year ever for EDG. This is big time money here for these rookies to go up and grab.
And their big streak came when Clearlove came back into the lineup. So they say, game 1, Clearlove, you're benched. You're up.
That's not the decision I would be making here. There's been some talk about what do you do in game 1s and what do you do with obviously having a roster where you want to make some changes later in it, maybe your full potential here. This was definitely not one of them, and hey, early game, that's Ray getting behind on the Kale.
Yeah, what do you do when you're against the Kale, who is the ultimate hyper carry that we've seen now since she got reworked? Well, you're probably just camper in the top lane. They get a trade kill in the mid, but we go right back top. She's got her ulti now, but you know what? That doesn't matter at all. You're still going to go down to the Cassiopeia top lane. You got to imagine that is a tough matchup. And we were praising Scout coming into these games for playing great. This is a little too over-eager, going a little bit too deep on that Corki, and he gets completely blown up.
Yeah, that's a real tough one there because this has been someone, Scout, who has really been the engine that's been driving EDG, the one that has been the carry for them these past couple of weeks as they found their success and kind of the reputation again as one of the top little teams in the world. But oh, it's just too much, and man, that is a clean play. I don't care what you say on the other side of the jungle. That is a clean play by the Olaf, getting in there with that EQ and making sure he gets the smite down too, stealing the Baron. Yeah,
Zhao Pang stealing the hearts of EDG with that one. They grab a couple of kills on the way out, and then it's Gala going in on Scout's Corki there because he knows he's got a Galio behind him. The Kale ulti comes in. He's still going to go down. There are no turrets here to save EDG. They are just full-fledged fleeing behind, but they're actually turning it around to stay alive. The Kaisa flashes out, though, and oh boy, that was 4v5. The Cassiopeia wasn't even there.
Yeah, that was one of those ones where you're like, oh man, did Gala actually overextend here? Is this going to be where EDG find the turnaround? And oh wait, there's the Cassiopeia on the flank. And
full health.
GG, easy. Let's move on to game number 2. And hey, thank you, Clearlove, back in the lineup.
Yeah, they figured out, you know what, let's throw him on the Gragas. We'll put him on here. iBoy gets the Vayne. And here you have Ray. Ooh, he smites and doesn't get it. Ray grabs the Rift Herald. He picks up the Rift Herald buff as well. And then we still got to fight after this. Here comes Scout on that Irelia, but everyone's running away. By the way, Mark, that is a jungle Nidalee. What year is this?
Man, this is, again, hey, there's a lot of reasons why you got to be watching the LPL. This is certainly one of them here. We've seen a great influx of some of these champions you want to be watching.
Wasn't working early.
Hey, oh, no, hey, you hold on, and you'll just see here, yeah, not working early, but it's soon gonna turn in the way for the SinoDragons.
Soon TM, as Mako flashes over, they put out all their damage on the Scion. There's a nice blade caller there from the Xayah, and then Nidalee's there to clean up, and we get eventually a triple kill here for the Scion to get that tank rolling. You don't want to be engaging on him.
No, this is one of those feels bad man situation here because you needed to get something. You needed to try to find your own power there. Not only did you give it up to some of the other carries here with Sino, you gave it away to the big meatball that's going to be protecting them on that front line.
Yeah, they thought they could have bursted him fast enough. Wasn't the case. That would eventually lead to a Baron. Ray tries to steal it. That doesn't go so well. A lot less kills in this one, but still pretty convincing in the way of the SinoDragon. Scion TP's back in, a last desperation fight for EDG. Clearlove gets blown up immediately on the Gragas, and SDG's just way too far ahead at this point. No turrets stopping them.
Now this is a real feels bad man situation because you got to really look here at your draft now if you're EDG, because this has been 2 games now where you've drafted pretty much a jungler who's going to be a little bit slow getting going, but you needed to have winning lanes for that jungler to get to, and you did not draft them. And oh, it looks like you haven't drafted them once again in game 3. This is not looking good for EDG, folks.
And again, Clearlove, you're out. You had one game, didn't go so well, so Haro's back in on the Olaf, putting in work early, and this is the kind of Fiesta early game that I love seeing. Nobody has ultis yet, but we are scrapping, full-fledged 4v4s going on here. iBoy on the Sivir, EDG's just kiting back, slowly getting SDG broken down. 2 kills, EDG loses them, but iBoy is cleaning up on the backside. He eventually flashes in 4 for 2 to start off the game.
This is the start that EDG needed to find. Hey, you got this type of draft where, again, you don't have that full priority. Getting some of that strength here with your plays early, that is a nice start here. But oh man, you're starting to throw this one away, EDG.
Yeah, and again, it's around the Rift Herald. That was kind of the theme in today's playoff games, is a lot of huge skirmishes around this Rift Herald. And the Jace on the outside, unable to get taken down. Gala's cleaning people up. The Swain in the top lane, that's a nice spell shield from iBoy, but you already lost the fight. And then early on, going down onto the inhib. Tower's already down. The Swain TP's in. The fight's basically already over. But EDG does hold on here. They grab a couple of kills. Scouts LeBlanc was trying to get them back into this game, as you see a nice route there. But they grab a kill, but it's going to be hard pressed. Here comes Ray with a 3-man Gnar ulti, and he almost cleans it up.
Almost, but hey man, this is not good enough. Almost ain't enough to cut it here.
iBoy!
iBoy trying to make the hero play, and he does. He gets these kills for the squad.
The patented Sivir flank to clean up 2 kills at the end of a fight, but that was really only delaying the inevitable. You saw, you're even in kills, but I mean the turrets and all the objectives heavily in the favor of SDG as they just steamroll through that inhib. The Swain flashes in and puts some insane damage. SDG on the verge of 3-0ing EDG, as everyone expected.
Yeah, this is, hey, not what everyone was predicting here. This is crazy. This is the 2 matches in the LPL playoffs here.
Wow.
Not even just us, all the casters over there. Everyone predicting the win for WE doesn't happen. Everyone predicting the win for EDG to move on through does not happen. SinoDragon's here. From the LDL to the LPL, and on top of EDG, they're moving on to the next round of the playoffs here. And with that win, that is the worst ever finish for EDG in the LPL in their history. And I think you can look at this 2 ways. Yes, it's a little bit sad here that you have them falling down like this, and in a situation with a series where you had that indecision in the jungle with Haro and Clearlove getting you there and that type of situation. But the positive here is with SinoDragons being that team from the LDL coming through, getting this success here right away. This is a good sign for China. This is an all-Chinese roster as well, taking down EDG with their mix of veterans and some Korean imports there. That is exciting to watch from this series.
And you kind of talked about some of the drafting issues. This is something that you maybe would have seen Sino have, because they haven't played nearly as many best of 5s as EDG, and EDG this year just got Hart over from RNG as their new coach. So to have some of those drafting issues, definitely wouldn't have expected it for a team that's so experienced and played so many best of 5s.
Right, and it was one of these things, again, when you're coming into this series and you're going to do something like subbing Clearlove out, who had been your successful jungler for the split, and putting Haro in and trying to figure something out there, that's where it is questionable, because at that point in time, you got to be thinking to yourselves, well, are we really that sound in our draft strategies here and what we truly have in our read of the meta? Because if you are doing that, I don't think you are.
But SinoDragons, kudos to them. They played 3 clean games. They move on to the official quarterfinals where they will match up against TOP, and who knows, maybe a bit of a run could still happen for them. Who knows what to predict right now in the LPL playoffs, because they are absolutely bonkers.